Well, hey y'all, welcome to another video. It's me, Tej, and today we're gonna be doing some much needed upgrades to the boat. I've got the deck off, we've got things just completely thrown all over, but my father-in-law, Gary, a returning character from our last boat upgrade video, is gonna be helping us install a few more things. I'll show you real quick, and then we're gonna get to work. I won't be using this boat for duck hunting really, but I do wanna put a couple spotlights on the front facing out, just in case we do run at night for whatever reason. And we're gonna wire those to this switch panel, and we're also going to run our nav lights to the switch panel as well so that we can control those lights. Also, thanks to our friend David, we have this 9-inch Hummingbird screen that we're gonna put on and hopefully learn how to find fish on the fish finder. We need to nail down or screw down the trolling motor pedal because a lot of times it moves all over the front deck as well when we have it. But I got the deck off so that we can run wires underneath it. I decided that I wanted to leave my battery right here because it's gonna make everything easier once I show you where we put the switch panel. And we're gonna do a time lapse on the GoPro, and I actually like this angle. I think we're gonna use this angle when we're out on the water some too. There's Gary, he's gonna be actually doing most of the work. I'm just here to hold a flashlight. I never got to hold a flashlight from my real dad. I think I made that joke in the last video, but it's true. All right, I don't know where we're starting, but I'm gonna put the big camera down. I'll be back on the big camera eventually to show you guys exactly what we're doing, but I'm really excited about these boat upgrades. If there's any boat upgrades that you guys think we absolutely have to do to this guy, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys would like to see us do with this boat. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that there are gonna be a lot more adventures to come in this boat this summer. Let's get to work. The first thing we're gonna work on is the nav lights, which is the red and green light at the front of the boat, and then this white light at the back of the boat. And I know that they both work because when I first got the boat, I hooked them up to the battery to be sure. But what we're gonna do is the front lights run all the way down here to the back. So we're actually just gonna take these wires, run them over, splice them to the white light, and then we're gonna run them up to where our switch panel is gonna be. So actually, the way I have the GoPro rigged up right here is not gonna capture any of this back here, but I'll show you the final product when we're done.
All right, so usually you want to make sure when you're running any kind of wire, when you go to score it, like especially this one, but on this one, because it doesn't have a string, so you got to be careful not to cut into the insulation, because if you do and it crosses, it could cause a ground fault or they'll short out. This wire has a string in it, so when you score it, which I can show again, when you score it and you pull it off, because this is shielded wire, but it's got a little string in there, and that way I'm not worried about it because I probably did score them a little bit. So what you can do is you can pull it back and trim it down a little bit more, so that way you know you haven't cut into the wires. And that's the proper way to do it. Continuity means that like the wire goes from one side to the other with nothing on it.
And now we're going to mount, we actually decided since it's 6,000 lumens, we're actually just gonna mount one spotlight. It's actually a spot and a flood to the front of the boat so that we can go ahead and run the wires for the light to bring them back to where we're gonna do the switch panel. Then we're gonna run the transducer cable for the Hummingbird.
A little bit at a time, here you go. Yep, that's it. Run it back up, there you go, you're good to go. Yeah, and you can talk about it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Probably the dealership.
Alright, we're drilling a hole in this box, and my deck comes out to the top of the box, and there's this opening. We're gonna actually mount the switch panel in there somewhere and run the wires on the side of this box here. So Gary just drilled a hole so that we can run those wires. Alright, welcome to the back of the boat. We got the transducer mounted, and what we did, instead of drilling into the boat right here, we have the transducer on this like metal bracket up here so that we didn't have to drill any holes below the water line, just because we wanted to be safe. So if we follow the transducer and the cable up, we get up here. Okay, so up here, the nav lights and the transducer cable all come together. We got them zip tied here. This is temporary. There's a couple cuts in the cable. We're gonna make sure everything works first, and then we're gonna clean that up later. But what I'm gonna do now is put these wires in a sleeve and run it all the way up the side of my boat here into this hole, because our switch panel is gonna go right there. All right guys, we're getting close. We're kind of laying out the front of the boat the way we want it. We gotta mount the trolling motor pedal. I'm not gonna mount the Hummingbird yet. I'm gonna wait until I go out one day and see exactly where I like it positioned. And then we're gonna mount that to the deck as well. All that's left to do is to put the switch panel in, so we're gonna push the boat back into the garage, so Gary can actually get in and work from the inside of the boat. We're almost done. All right, guys, fast forward a few days. Amber and I had to go out on a double date for dinner, and my father-in-law finished the install for me. I'll show you guys the switch panel in a second, but one thing I haven't shown you is this little piece right here that clamped onto my trolling motor. And this is something someone in the bass club, Robin, actually gave to me so that when we're up shallow and if we are fishing beds and the trolling motor's down, we can stick a spike through here and we can anchor down. So I'm really excited about that because on a boat like mine, you're not gonna have power poles. But the invention of power poles made it to where they didn't need to use these anymore. So he hooked me up for free. Someone else in the bass club, Brad, actually made this. So this is a pretty cool little addition that I just have to get a spike to use it. Also, I'm keeping my graph in the truck with me until I get to the boat ramp. All right, and then back here you can see in this little box the switch panel right here. Looks nice and neat. I'll take some B-roll so you can see an up-close picture of it. The lights work, the voltage meter works, and everything that we've installed works here in the garage. But the only thing left to do is go put the boat in the water. To be honest, I'm still a little anxious about backing down the ramp, but we're gonna go put the boat in the water. We're gonna test out the graph. It probably won't get dark, but the spotlight is pretty bright. The bass forecast today is like a 2.4, so I'm taking one rod with a drop shot on it. Today's mission is to put the boat in the water, make sure the graph works, try to figure out how to read it, and go from there. So I actually forgot to record a time lapse with the tall GoPro mount, so I'm actually gonna use that today and see how good that picks up on the water, see if we like that view. Let's just get to it. All right, guys, Jeremy had to go back home and grab a life jacket, but I launched the boat completely by myself. That's a huge step. Check this out. I don't know how good that's gonna show up on the GoPro, but we have side scan going. I don't know how to work it or how to read it, but I'm gonna play around a little bit with it until he gets back. I'm gonna put you guys on the back mount. I think I'm gonna use the short one. The tall one kind of falls over a little bit, but I don't know if we're gonna catch any fish today, but we're gonna try out all the new electronics. Cord is already getting frayed. You're definitely going to want to upgrade that ASAP. I really think this is going to be our best option.
Oh, this is my third day in a row fishing out here.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Uh-oh.
Yeah? There it is. You need a net? That drag is screaming, boy.
Oh, no, did you get off? Oh, he got off.
Oh,
I stopped for a second to adjust the drag. Feels bad.
Had a bunch of stuff all over the... All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Jeremy and I have been out here for like 3 hours and had a couple bites early on a drop shot, but had no action since. All of the electronics that we install work. The unit up front is really interesting. I'm getting used to learning like what it actually is doing and what it's telling me. Down scan is really awesome. Side scan will be once I figure out exactly how to use it. We came over in this creek and we went over a couple brush piles, and at one point I'm pretty sure I could identify fish. There's like 3 or 4 blobs that were kind of separated from the bottom. I'm pretty sure it was fish, so I feel pretty confident. Either way, the upgrades to the boat have been absolutely dope. Gary, thank you so much for helping me install all this stuff. Honestly, doing most of the work. I could not have done this without you. And if you're new here and you're enjoying this content and you want to come along this journey as I continue to become a better bass angler, I just ask you to hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys very soon on the next one.